here alongside Conor McGregor New Year's Eve.
This interview was conducted minutes after McGregor became a double champ in Cage Warriors.
You have said that your goal is to get into the bigger organisation.
The aim for everyone is to get to the UFC, the premier promotion. You know what I mean? No one give a f about no other shit. You're with the UFC or you're with nothing. It can happen any day.
Do you think the call is...
Yeah, I'd hope so, yeah.
Next fight will be...
I don't know, we'll see what happens, you know what I mean? Just keep positive, and if the call comes, the call comes.
But in the weeks that followed this interview, the call didn't come.
Only just before he got the second belt, I'd emailed Sean Shelby for the 50th time, and I was still getting rejected.
He's witty, he's charming, he's loud, and he can fight like hell.
There's only so many times you can ask a girl out and get rejected and keep asking.
But for sure, McGregor persevered, right? You know how the story ends.
Just believe in yourself, believe that you're better than everyone else. Be cocky and be confident and be humble, train hard.
Believe it or not, despite saying all these things, when the call from the UFC never came, Conor McGregor decided to quit.
I've been making history for a long time now.
So wait, how could Conor give up so close to his dream?
Oh, so you didn't read my book, no? You told me you read my book.
Yeah. Cage Warriors might have been a top promotion in Europe, but it's still not a lucrative place for a fighter to ply his trade.
Conor would fight for a world title on Cage Warriors and be paid 500 euros. Realistically, you can fight 3 times in the year, so that's 1,500 euros per year.
Jeez. I'm doing this 10 years, I'm fighting for 500 euros 3 times a year. You know, what money is that? His girlfriend's driving around and beat up Peugeot.
I was thinking, you know what, this game. I don't want to do this shit anymore.
After almost 10 years pursuing a contract with the UFC, Conor McGregor finds himself back to the place he fought so hard to escape.
We come from nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I come from nothing.
When he's came from, you do well to get out of the estate and get a half-decent job. If you do that, you're doing better than 95% of the people that are still in that situation.
Like, there's so much despair back home.
Where I come from, we're not supposed to climb to these heights. We're told that. It's instilled in us. And I wanted to break that mold and pave the way, open up paths.
There was no real great boxers or fighters in my family. We were outlawed. It's into the hills in Scotland, you know, so...
Tony was a taxi driver. Margaret was a housewife, or a homemaker, as they call them nowadays.
In my home, like many other homes in Ireland, the real stress and the real fights come from the mortgage. A lot of people are getting evicted from their homes around here. So that's something that I grew up with. That was a big stress in my family. It caused a lot of stress, so...
And I'd always look at what their stresses came from, and I'd always, as a young boy, look and be like, I want to one day be able to take those stresses away from them.
He was born with cysts like this, and the midwife said to me, the first word was, oh my God, he's going to be a fighter.
There was 3 kids. There was Erin was the eldest, Aoife was the middle one, and then Conor was the youngest boy.
I was literally, for the whole of my childhood, the opponent. Like, I would be sitting, minding your own business, watching telly, flicking through the channels, and he'd come in and be like, Conor McGregor, and he'd like bounce off me, and then I'd like get me legs up in the air and be like, leg.
He had this cheeky grin, you know, he'd say something or do something, he'd have a little cheeky grin.
Cockiness and a bit of a celebrity swagger about him, yeah.
He wasn't afraid to speak up for himself, you know.
When I was a little boy, I used to say to my ma, when I grow up, I want to be Superman. That was what I used to say to her, and every Christmas I'd say, get me everything Superman. As I got older then, I was Muhammad Ali.
Ali was one of my first heroes in combat sport. I watched documentaries on him, I read books on him, and he was captivating the audience, he was entertaining, and he had passion and conviction. And I was just a young kid watching this.
People that are chasing their dream no matter what people are saying, no matter what people think. People who do stuff that people say they can't do.
Although Conor had given up on that mission, the universe had other plans.
I first heard about Conor from the internet, which is where you hear about everything, right? I saw a clip on the internet of him finishing somebody, and then I watched a series of his fights. He's got that thing, you know, whatever it is. It's hard to figure out what that thing is, but you know when people have it. There's that one thing that makes you want to pay attention to them.
Joe Rogan gave him a shout out. And then all of a sudden the UFC did have an opening. Sean Shelby replied late January. He just says, look, there's a fight. I was very excited and I start ringing Conor.
And then the phone rang one night. I was about to go out with my friends and it was John. And I didn't answer it.
He thought I was ringing him to give him a hard time.
And then it rang and it rang and it rang. I was like, nah, f it, I'm not going back. I'll figure something else to do.
And then eventually I had to just text him. I was like, answer your bloody phone.
How do you feel about making your UFC debut in 9 weeks?
I could almost hear him screaming from
I put the phone down, I went home, and then I showed up at the gym the next day and put the work in.
But it was funny that we went the whole phone call and he never asked who was he fighting.
By pure coincidence, days after Conor signs with the UFC, Dana White visits Dublin to receive an award.
I mean, first off, truly honored to be receiving this award. It means a lot to me.
First, fair play for Simon Conor McGregor, and what do you think about him, and when did you start seeing?
Everybody was coming up to me, talking to me about Conor McGregor, and I had dinner with him. And when I left that dinner, I called my partner, Lorenzo, and I said, I don't know if this guy can fight on it, but if he can even throw a punch, this kid's going to be a huge superstar.
Conor recently said he's going to single-handedly drag the UFC back to Ireland.
I believe him.
I always knew I only need one chance. I always felt I was better than everybody. I always felt all I needed was to get in there once. Just give me one shot and I'll take it home. So I always had these visions of something, but I just didn't know what it was.
I used to sneak out of the house late at night, and there used to be a little grass patch by my home. I'd take the football out and play on the grass patch on my own.
Kick the ball against the wall and I'd pretend I scored a goal, and I'd run off and I'd be raising my hand.
And I would visualize a screaming arena cheering me on.
Conor McGregor?
Yeah.
Okay. During the course of the week, sir, do not take any sleep medication, no diuretics.
This should have been a routine check, but it was anything but.
That was a nightmare. That was a nightmare.
Sunday I wakes up with wisdom tooth was coming through. Like the bit of gum was coming over the wisdom tooth, and it's horrible pain now, but I was crippled with pain, couldn't sleep around. What's that, 5 days before the weigh-in?
Do not take any sleep medication, no diuretics, nothing for any type of head cold, hay fever, allergies, infections.
The pain is still there, I can't sleep, not sleeping at night, waking up 6 o'clock in the morning in a bad way.
Do not, absolutely do not take aspirin, Advil, Aleve. Those are blood thinners. Ibuprofen or muscle relaxers, you don't want to take those fight weeks.
So I've been on 6 antibiotics a day, and painkillers fucking since Sunday.
The only thing that you can ingest for whatever ails you, headache, whatever, is Tylenos.
So by the Wednesday, he was really in a bad way. So we went to the dentist and they said, you're going to need an operation. Take this out. I was like, okay, well, if he gets an operation today, can he eat Saturday night? And they were like, no, of course not. And then, the following day is Thursday, so starvation day, no food, no water, and made weight on the Friday.
Okay, so we're going to come later.
Every guy thinks they're a bit bigger.
We are excited to see Conor McGregor step into the octagon. He is truly the most highly touted Irish prospect to ever fight in the UFC. 9 first-round finishes for the Fighting Pride of Dublin. Is it a fever pitch?
We're doing this thing where we're getting everybody's name together from your actual voice, so that our announcers pronounce your name correctly.
Yeah. Conor McGregor.
One more time.
Conor Dana! 60 G's, baby!
Welcome to the UFC, man.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So there's been a lot of hype. I guess
Yeah.
the hype is real,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Good, man. We're pumped. So welcome.
To be honest, I don't know what's going on here. I'm just after hearing $60,000, and I'm just thinking of what I'm going to spend on it, you know what I mean? Just last week I was collecting the social welfare, you know what I mean?
You're only 1-0 in the UFC, but it feels like in some ways you're 10-0 by the attention and by the buzz surrounding you. I know you watched 163. What do you think of Aldo's performance? Are you ready for this, man?
Jose Aldo is the #1 pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. He has gone 10 years undefeated. You don't see that in the sport.
He is time and time again defended against the best fighters in his weight class.
Aldo, come on. There is no opponent, you know what I mean? This is my division. This is my time. I'm ready. Now here I am. I'm at the making a big name for myself on the mixed martial arts scene. I'm at the making some money. And
Conor, you were an apprentice plumber, right?
Yeah.
And is that something that you wanted to do, or was that something you were pretty much railroaded into?
Yeah, the Irish mentality is when you finish school, If you're not going to college or anything, you have to get a job straight away. There's no chasing your dreams. Get a trade or get in and do a job. So
How bad was that?
the plumbing,
Yeah.
horrendous. I used to be getting up at like 5:30, 6:45 in the morning, pitch black out, freezing.
To get him to go in the wake him up in the morning and get him up to go was an absolute nightmare.
There was the distance as well. It was a huge distance.
Work was about two and a half hours drive away. And then I'd be on that building site for 12, 14 hours a day. Then another 2-3 hours drive back.
I was on them building sites cold and damp. It's the hard work that's not respected and not admired.
I'm looking around on the site and I'm looking at the fully qualified people, you know, bad backs and bad posture.
That was not me. You know, I knew I could do something better. I knew I had something in me. I just wasn't sure even what it was.
It's at that crucial moment that Conor would receive a gift that would change his life forever.
My sister came to me with a book.
The Secret, The Law of Attraction, the book on the Law of Attraction.
Yeah.
That was what changed my life.
That a man can change himself and master his own destiny is the conclusion of every mind who is wide awake to the power of right thought.
You can almost visually create your entire world. No, not almost, you actually can.
Your current thoughts are creating your future life. What you focus on the most will appear as your life. Your thoughts become things.
If you limit your choices only to what seems possible or reasonable, you disconnect yourself from what you truly want. And all that is left is a compromise.
So if you want to change your circumstances, you must first change your thinking.
Your true passion should feel like breathing. It's that natural.
When you visualize, you generate powerful thoughts and feelings of having it now. The law of attraction then returns that reality to you, just as you saw it in your mind.
You truly believe in it. If you become vocal with it, you are creating that law of attraction and it will become reality.
4 weeks away from Conor's next fight against Max Holloway.
August 17th, I'm going to prove my worth once again.
And this is a big fight with two badass up-and-coming guys.
I just can't wait to fight this guy. You know, this guy, he brings a lot of tools to the table, and
There's two things I really like to do, and that's whoop ass and look good. I'm doing one of them right now, and Saturday night, I'm going to do the other. Keep looking there, shake them out for me. Chin down a little bit. There you go.
The notorious one, Conor McGregor!
God, he really looked scary up there, didn't he? Like, he looked vicious.
146 for Mr. McGregor! Well, what a weekend has been in Boston. The Irishman, Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor says he is not surprised by the attention he has received. The kid has got something special.
Although Conor would fight his way to a unanimous decision, what looked like a trivial incident would derail his entire career.
he took me down, and then I had him in half guard.
Went to advance the pass guard. I had pass, had the underhook, was sliding the knee through.
And I had like his ankle. And right when he didn't pass, I like hit.
As it was caught, he bridged and rolled, and it just went, I just popped. I kind of bring it back as if I'm going to go across that way. Look at the way it's going that way.
That's how he hurt his knee in the fight.
I let out a little scream.
Like a hurtful scream.
Stopping wasn't in my head. I just took it to a place where I could control it. I don't give a shit. It feels like a loss to me, to be honest. I wanted to finish, you know. I just can't get it out of my head, but looking back, I should have just pulled my knee from my leg and hit him with it, you know what I mean? That's what I'm...
That's all right. No, it's good, man. Hey, you won. I mean, never apologize for when he was...
That's where I popped, but I could feel a fluid in here.
That pop turned out to be a complete tear of his ACL.
You know, you start Googling and looking about that, and that's the end of a lot of athletes' careers.
When we heard the news first and it was 10 months out, I just thought, oh my God. You know, he was riding the crest of a wave here, and then just to be smashed down with that serious injury.
Although Conor's dad looks concerned, he's the one who initially did everything he could to stop Conor from pursuing fighting.
Well, I moved from Crumlin when I was 16. And I met a guy who was doing jiu-jitsu. Tom Egan, his name was.
Conor was working as an apprentice plumber, which I know he wasn't enjoying.
You know, he knew I did karate and he was very interested, and he only really played soccer at the time.
They went to school together. Okay. And they would, at break time, spar each other.
Have a knock.
Have a knock.
And I was doing some boxing at the time, some kickboxing. And around the same time we started seeing the UFC on TV. Two little 16-year-old kids out the back of his shed, the concrete floor, basically punched the head off each other, really. And then that was that.
And then we found an actual MMA gym, which was run by John Cavan, a straight blast gym in Ireland.
Now, what are your first memories from meeting Conor?
Loud. You can hear him for half an hour before you see him. And
every gym I went to was always, they had that set way. You must stand this way, you must kick this way, you must punch this way. But with John, when I went to John, he had a more open mind and he encouraged different movements. And I'd never experienced that before. I'd never heard a coach say that to me before. And that stuck in my head. I thought to myself, this guy is thinking outside the box, you know what I mean?
John showed us a different approach to combat sport, a different way of thinking.
You might be happy training somebody to be the best in Dublin. I said, that's not my goal. My goal is to produce a UFC champion. Not a UFC fighter, a UFC champion.
John believed in me and made me believe in myself that we could go and do this. He put his faith in me when no one else would put their faith in me. I was always the kid at the end of class running out the front door when it was time to pay, and John just overlooked that. I'm happy now that we're here. Then I started thinking, there's a career. Maybe I can make something out of this. Well, what else am I going to do? I don't really want to do anything else.
I really, really, really loved it. It's like an addiction for me. It's all I do. I train twice a day.
He had an obsessive mindset. Just constantly message me. What about this? What about that? What about this?
That's all I think about. I don't want to do anything else. It's as simple as that.
There was no career path. Yeah. No one had done it before. It was kind of like we were all like training super hard, super intense, with no real end to this.
Yeah. I remember during one lunch break, I was in the car park and it was pissing rain down and there was some music playing and it was like there wasn't even words to it. It was just a kind of a beat and I got like I went somewhere with it and I was like, I'm out of here. I just did it. I said, I don't give a... Went back, said I'm not doing that job anymore. When I got home, my mother and father said, how come you're not still at work? And I told my father, I said, there's not a hope in hell you're going to ever get me back on that building site again. And he essentially said, we'll see about that. All hell broke loose, but he had many, many fights where he tried to get me back onto the building site.
Were they actual fights? You're not talking about arguments, you're talking about actual
fights?
fights?
They were actual fights. Like, I'm talking full-on fights. You come in and punch it. We're going at it. Yeah, we're going at it.
And you're punching back?
We threw down. This is... Welcome to Ireland. This is the way it is.
What did your mom say about that? Who's so protective of you?
When Tony and Conor were having their arguments over the fight, I used to get really upset and all. I'm saying, because they just totally disagreed on.
For a good while, I never spoke. I didn't really speak to my dad. We just kind of stayed away from each other. Anytime we did speak was to fight. I said to my dad I said, listen, by the time I'm 25 years old, I'm going to be a self-made millionaire. And he laughed at me.
How old are you?
I'm 24 now, so yeah.
How's your name?
Steady.
Yeah, you famous?
Yeah, I can't straighten.
A complete tear of the ACL will not heal on its own because there's no blood flow supplying that ligament.
So you have to replace the ACL, you have to build a new ACL.
Your prior ACL is completely removed, a piece of your own patella tendon cut out and surgically implanted into there to become your ACL.
After surgery, you're just in bed, alone, fighting depression daily.
Were you afraid for a second with the injury?
I knew I could conquer it. George conquered it. That was a big inspiration for me because I saw how he conquered it, and I spoke with him before I went to the surgery.
How's the knee coming on?
I'm ahead of schedule for the time that I had the surgery and the time that I'm doing my rehab. I'm ahead of schedule.
I'm ahead of George. I'm competing with George in my mind. You know what I mean? It took George 10 months to come back. I'm looking to do it in 6. Right now, I'm clear to run on concrete. I can also box sparring.
There was talk he might be finished. He had got a year without competition.
This is a huge opportunity for the fans in Ireland. They've been waiting for a UFC for over 5 years, and now in the main event is Conor McGregor. It's going to be fun.
Dana White seems to have embraced you. He badly needs a star. Have you had a lot of fun partying with him? I mean, you've been seen in his Ferrari.
King of Las Vegas, Dana White, with the King of Dublin, the notorious Conor McGregor.
The question is, can this kid break into the top 10? Can he break into the top 5? And can he challenge for a world title? If he can, oh my God, the Irish are going to go crazy, man.
I'm going to blow the roof off this place. The whole country's going to shut down.
Having an Irish fighter headline a UFC card was unheard of.
As far as the UFC were concerned, Ireland didn't exist. An Irishman in the UFC was literally, and I mean literally, laughed at. We were laughed at. I was laughed at when I said we were going to get to the UFC.
But now we are here, back with our roots, back in Ireland, where we first started.
Our very first fight, and he showed up really late, gets in the ring, barely warmed up, and he had that classic thing the fighters have when you're in the ring. You look around and you're like, what the f*** am I doing here? Why am I doing this? You look at your gloves, you look at your opponent, you're like, what am I doing? And he said he looked down into the crowd. I was holding a beer with my hair all done, all dressed up, and I was like, let's go, Conor, good man. And he's looking at me going, this was your idea. Why am I in here? This is your idea. You're out there chilling and I'm in here. I didn't even want to do this.
wasn't the only friend of Conor watching that night.
About 2 months after I met Conor, he had his first MMA fight.
And I thought, I'm gonna vomit. Like, there's no way I could get more nervous than this.
Keep in mind, at that point in time, Conor's family still didn't support him.
Who was the loved one who questioned this as a career choice the most?
To be honest, every one of them questioned it.
I don't think that as a family we understood that for a long time.
But there is one person who did, from the get-go.
Just saying she really believed in you for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. She did.
I always saw, even from then, the dedication that he put in, and we'd be driving home from his gym sessions and listen to the music, and he'd be saying, no, I'm gonna make it, and talk about his dreams. And
you organised Conor's life a bit?
Pretty much.
And my girlfriend worked very, very hard throughout the years coming up and stuck by me when essentially I had absolutely nothing. I only had a dream that I was telling her.
And I see what Conor puts into the training, I know how hard he works, so he's never going to lose, you know? In my eyes, anyway.
Pair of shades? Too much?
No
shades. Most people are saying, no, that's too much. She's like, no, shades on. It's never too
When
much.
it's too much, that's how you know you're not in the right direction.
Yeah.
Conor's performance would open the door to contract negotiations with the UFC.
Sunday I head over to Vegas. I'm talking big ass business here. I'm ripping up that old contract. You show up, you do your job. You do what you're supposed to do and you get rewarded. And today, I signed a big deal. Years of hard work, years of dedication. It's a beautiful thing. You know, I'm one of the big dogs now. I'm only getting better.
Like, are we talking John Jones good, Anderson Silva good?
I'm only scratching the surface. But I'm still better than every one of them.
I don't give a what anybody says. Ali, Conor, both level when it comes to mental warfare.
Really?
The two best of all time when it comes to mental warfare.
Wait, break that down.
You know, Dustin Poirier's no joke. He's a really good fighter.
Everybody thinks he's the next big thing, so let me show him he's not.
Make no mistake, he's afraid. He's a scared little boy. The first time we came face to face and he put his fists out like that and I went head to head, there wasn't a peep out of him. When you go face to face with a man and he bows before you, you don't advance on it. You pat him on the head and carry on.
He would make these guys play into his game, get into their heads, and embarrass them and outwit them in every way, shape, and form.
This man has never knocked nobody out cold. He's a bully. He's slow. He has no skill, no footwork. He's awkward.
He's a quiet little hillbilly from the back arse of nowhere.
He's nothing but a tramp. He's a bum. I'm the world's greatest.
I sit back, smile, go in and put him away in 1 round.
He must fall in 5 rounds, but if you talk about me, I'll cut it 3.
It's gonna be a first round KO, mark my word.
And after I'm through beating him, I think you'll have to join the Beatles and be a singer.
Psychological warfare, you know, where you torture these motherfuckers. Tell me about that.
Know yourself to know others. That's a Bruce Lee quote. If you truly know yourself, you can know others. So I know what way I feel. I know what way that man feels. I know what I can say to push his buttons. I'm sure he grew up in a circus or a fair, or, you know, his cousin's probably named Cletus or something. I don't know. He's a nice kid.
Guy who's been running his mouth and nobody's made him pay for it, so it's time to punish him.
Dustin thinks it's all talk, but when he wakes up with his nose plastered on the other side of his face, he's gonna know it's not all talk. I know what he's thinking. I know what he's afraid of. I know through his worries and I put them out there. Dustin's little pea head is going to get removed. It's going to get put into my collection and I'm going to get on my way to the gold. I get them thinking about it. His chin is deteriorating. A gust of wind and he does the chicken dance.
He shall be known as officially as the mummy. He drags like that after his opponent.
You ain't shit, boy. You ain't shit. Yeah, you ain't shit. What's up? That's good. What's up? His emotions are getting to him. If you look closely at his eyes, they're offline to where I am. Emotions cloud reaction. So when I shifted fast, his emotions were clouding his reaction, so his eyes couldn't track me. The same way it's going to be in the fight. When I shuffle in there and make them little sharp turns, his eyes won't be able to follow my movement. That's when the shot will hit him. That's when he'll go stiff.
We get to a featured bout in the featherweight division. Dustin the Diamond Poirier versus the notorious Conor McGregor. 146 for Conor McGregor. 145 and a half for Dustin Poirier.
This may be the most highly anticipated fight for many. The notorious one, fighting in Vegas for the first time.
The real question in this fight is, can Conor McGregor back up all the talk?
Here we go!
So I said I'd knock him out in the first round, and I knocked him out in the first round. You can call me Mystic Mac because I predict these things.
I keep telling people, but they keep doubting me. I tell them they don't believe me.
Conor, congratulations. I don't know how you do it. You seem immune to pressure. You got an entire nation on your shoulders, and you rise above it once again.
This is what gives me energy. Saying I'm gonna do something. Putting it out there for the world to see, and then going out and doing it. There's no better feeling in the world than that. And it's as easy as that. Say what you're gonna do, and go and do it. I will be one of the top in the world, no doubt. I'm 100% confident that I will make it to the top. I have the skills, I have the dedication, and it's something I really, really want. So I plan to take out everyone in Ireland that stands in my way. Words can't even describe, but it will happen, and I'll let you know when it happens.
At the beginning, he went through a really good spell. He was competing well, he was training hard.
Straight line, Conor. Good chin down. Good. All you now.
And he gets to get into those kind of late teens, problem years, I think it's 18, 19, 20, and maybe he went a little bit off road.
Dublin is in a massive town, and I soon discovered that Conor was hanging around with the kind of people who were best avoided by anyone wanting to become a successful professional athlete. Conor would be in the gym for hours every day for weeks at a time, and then he'd suddenly be gone.
I was in and out of the gym. I'd go and I'd fight. Then I'd off for 2 months. Then I go back. You know what I mean? That was the kind of relationship I had now.
He was kind of one of those guys in the back of my head. I thought, this guy is incredible, but he's not really focused.
There were huge cracks in his ground game that would need to be filled in, and that wouldn't be an overnight job.
I had no respect for jiu-jitsu. I had no respect for the grappling arts. I was a boxer.
Perhaps there was a side of me that felt this cocky boxer needed to be submitted in order to appreciate the importance of that aspect of the game. And maybe that side of me also felt that he needed to be taught a lesson, because Conor's mind still seemed to be focused more on partying than on training.
And I got caught in a leg lock.
And it was too late for Conor to realise that his leg was trapped. And he tapped. But that was a tough loss the hard loss for him to take.
And then I was like, you know what, this game, and drifted off.
A week went by, and there was no sign of Conor. A week then became a month.
And we kind of missed him for about a year in the gym.
And the next thing I know, I'm sitting in my house, depressed down my head one night after been out on a weekend, partying and doing all sorts of shit. And a while went by, and Tom got the contract. Then.
Conor's training partner, Tom Egan, became the first Irish fighter to compete in the UFC, while Conor started sinking into depression.
I won't look past Dennis. I will look through him exactly where I plan on going. And then it's on to big business. Jose will be told what to do. He'll be told he must fly economy to Ireland. And then he will hand over that belt on home soil.
E agora, quando o McGregor começa a parte dele lá, falando, tal, isso te afeta ou você tá meio que pouco se liga?
Então, te falar uma coisa bem normal, meu. Eu tô cagando e andando porque ele fala. Ele pode falar o que for. Como eu já falei, o bobo fala o que quer. O rei sou eu.
That's a championship weight. Tell Jose I'm coming. Can't wait till tomorrow night, UFC fans. Thank you.
In a span of just 2 years, this young man has gone from relative unknown to superstardom around the world.
That jump outside the cage, confronting Aldo. He made it impossible for that fight not to happen.
Today, we are kicking off the World Championship Press Tour that's going to visit 10 cities in 5 countries over the next 12 days. Your champion, Jose Aldo.
This town. I own Rio de Janeiro. So for him to say he is the king and I am the joker, if this was a different time, I would invade his favela on horseback and kill anyone that was not fit to walk. Look into my eyes, little man. Little Brazilian. Ooh, vamos here. What you got to say now? Face to face, hand to man. What you got to say? What you learn to say?
Oh, dream. Yo, dream.
You like it? It looks good, right?
Never.
Say goodbye.
Never.
Come get it.
Fio por isso, eu não. Nunca. Don't look. Don't look. Meu pai me fez for
I'm your father. I'm your daddy, yeah? Call me Jose Senior. Sit on my lap, kid.
Com certeza, mano. Vou matar esse filho da puta, vou arrancar a cabeça dele, mano. Filho da puta cheio de marra, falador pra caralho. Passa por cima dele, não vai nem ver. Só tá os bichos em cima dele. Vai se arrepender.
Conor knew that Aldo did not want to be touched.
His coach was ringing Dana. He better not put his hands on Jose.
Okay, Beverly?
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Can we move the seat? Let's reconfigure the seat here.
Okay, what's going on, guys?
Yeah, can we put Conor over here maybe, or over here? Let me see.
Kick for him. Dá um soco na cara desse filho da puta.
Kick for him.
Pegou no meu pescoço, é cheio de mal.
See how serious he is about the touching thing? He's so...
That's a huge respect for his player. Yeah, he's training.
Jose is at the end of his rope.
Let's go a little bit closer.
Don't touch.
Closer, let's go closer. I want to smell his I can smell your from here.
You forgot the belt.
You forgot your belt. You forgot your belt.
Eu sou maior. Eu sou maior aqui.
It's a mental time. It's a mental time.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Dublin, Ireland, Conor McGregor!
Aldo, 5,000 Irish never fought in front of anything like that in your life.
Aldo, you're going to get spiked, man.
Jose, after Conor beat you, are you gonna cry like a little bitch?
Question for Jose. I see you've changed translator. Does he know you're a loser as well? Jose!
That wasn't a question.
Josie, you look tired. Conor, you look fresh as
Aldo, you better get ready to be showing that belt and give it to Conor! McGregor, how long is it going to take you to rip his head off?
It will be done in one.
Eu cheguei aqui, eu sou o rei.
I'm the king of Dublin. I'm the real champion. Not the king of Dublin yet. You're looking at him. I'm coming. Tell him I'm coming. Head up, head up, head up, head up.
Wait a minute. Sunshine.
Let's hope.
This is what you call a rude awakening.
Yeah.
He broke his rib.
Oh my God. So what happens now?
I finally received a phone call from the McGregor household, but it wasn't Conor on the other end of the line.
I love my mother dearly. I love her to bits. You know, she reached out to John.
I was wondering if you could come up and see Conor, she said. He's lost his way a little bit. We're a bit worried about him.
I was doing no good, you know what I mean? I wasn't doing anything.
Causing trouble?
Yeah, out with my friends doing stupid shit, you know what I mean?
She told me a bit more, that he seemed to be in a state of depression and refused to leave his bedroom. I don't think anybody other than you can help him, she said.
She recognized that anytime I was in the gym, I was happy. And then all of a sudden I'm in my room and I knock on the door and it was John.
When I opened the door, he looked like he had seen a ghost. He certainly didn't resemble the healthy young athlete I had gotten to know.
We had a very, very frank discussion. You know, I just told him I thought he was thrown away, a lot of ability and a lot of promise, basically wasting it.
I asked him to tell me if I was wasting my time. Should I leave the house and never come back again, or do you want to start off with a clean slate?
We can go and do it. Thomas, if they're getting signed, I'd like you to come back. Let's chase it. We can do it. Let's do it. This is what you need to do. We need to show up here. We need to put in more hours than everybody. It needs to be every single second of your life. There cannot be no outside.
There were tears from both of us, but we made a commitment to each other there and then. The following Monday, Conor returned to the gym.
So it's your mother that deserves the credit.
Definitely. My mother definitely. And seeing the way my ma reached out and got John up, and then John came up, and seeing these people that are putting that time into me and putting that faith in me, that made me think, you know what? I'm going to do them proud.
That was, I guess, one of the big turning points in Conor's career because he came back and he came back with a vengeance.
Training twice a day, every day. My preparation for fights has been great. My game has come along. From where I was at the start of the year to where I am now is really something how much I've come along. It just goes to show that hard work and dedication really does pay off. The year has gone great. I've established myself as one of the top contenders in Ireland.
Conor's ready to go. The #1 guy in the world, Chad Mendes, is ready to go. So it makes sense. They'll fight for the interim title, and whenever Jose Aldo is ready, then that fight can happen to unify.
It does not matter to me who's standing across the ring. It will be the same outcome. If you are pound for pound #1, it shouldn't matter. Whoever it is, man.
Chad Mendes is a very dangerous guy and a really good wrestler.
I think the question's always been asked is, how's McGregor's ground game?
Turns out, Conor's second career loss would also happen by submission.
Chad's a bad matchup for Conor McGregor, and I think Conor knows that. I mean, he's a one-dimensional fighter. He's a stand-up fighter. That's it, bottom line. I mean, he doesn't have anything else.
He doesn't have wrestling, he doesn't have jiu-jitsu. You know, you wipe all that hype out of here, I'm gonna get in there and destroy this dude.
You know, we've never seen Conor get in there and be tested against someone the level of wrestling as myself.
But that fight would be McGregor's last defeat on European soil.
And then when that fight ended, I was like, I will never let that happen again.
Given how he had reacted to his only other defeat, I expected him to go missing again. When I arrived at the gym on Monday morning to find Conor on the mats, I was massively surprised. Just 36 hours after being beaten, he was back in the gym and ready to right the wrongs.
Is that pop? Yeah. On my leg? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah. No. Wasn't in that leg, was it? Big crack in his leg. Get that out of straight, will you?
Conor injures the same knee he tore against Holloway.
Essentially, I tore my ACL. 80% of it, they said.
I couldn't walk. I could not walk. There was a period in the camp where I couldn't even stand up straight.
Okay, done.
Okay.
Conor is training without ACL. I mean, you're not supposed to be able to walk without ACL.
I always said to myself, every damn day I woke up, I said, the true greats, they conquer adversity. The true greats can slice through adversity, no problem.
And I'm better now than I was when you saw that 22-year-old undeveloped kid running from Sunday Lister. I'm experienced now, professional. Jaw's been broke, been lost, knocked down a couple times. Bad.
145 for Mr. McGregor!
Been chopping trees. I done something new for this fight. I done wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. Fast. Last night, I cut the light off in my bedroom, hit the switch, was in the bed before the room was dark. Fast. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Conor climbs the ranks of cage warriors, things take a dark turn. His father gets diagnosed with cancer.
He went through a tough time as well because he got testicular cancer. So he got sick and all over. And in my head, I was thinking maybe I done that because he's worried about me and doesn't know what I'm going to do, and all these fights that we're having all the time. And
my mum and dad were worried about me and I didn't know what I was going to do with my life.
But as far as my father was concerned, I was just fighting in a cage and with no career path or nothing ahead of me.
Irish Death Bureau. Tell them to join the queue. Tell the Death Bureau to join the queue.
Despite his success in the octagon, Conor goes on social welfare.
It had been talked about that you were on welfare and things like that. How bad were things for you at that point?
Yeah, you know, I was on social welfare when I had no job, didn't really know, I was just chasing a dream.
Are there any tough times though when you...
Of course, there's tough times either way. There's tough times when you're doing your stupid little job that you hate every minute of. And there's tough times when you're broke for a while you're chasing your dream, you know what I mean? But don't dwell on that, you know what I mean? Just pursue what you love, do what you love, you know what I mean?
What has been the biggest effect of Conor's success, fame, achievements?
Without doubt, it was releasing us from our mortgage. So we are no longer incumbent by a mortgage. So that was a big weight off our shoulders, you know.
I took every bill off of their hands. Every single bill. My whole family is retired young now, so...
I always visualize what giving would feel like, given to people who have given to me. So it's good. That's something I always dreamed of.
This past summer, Conor McGregor captured a UFC world title and achieved yet another in a long list of prophecies. But the legitimacy of that belt is under great scrutiny.
This now sets up a fight with Jose Aldo that will be easily the biggest fight in the history of the UFC.
See that MGM every day.
When he won his first Cage Warriors world title, his mother was at it. I was walking out of the cage, she kind of grabbed me and stopped me and said, do you remember that day I got you to come up to the house to talk? So it was a bit like a movie moment. She was a bit teary, and it was kind of a nice, this happy ending to the story. should say happy beginning, because I really feel Conor's only kind of starting to fulfill his ability.
It was only when I saw him in Cage Warriors, when his opponent was called out, I just saw this big blockhouse coming out to music and lights, and I looked at this guy. He was more mature in years than Conor. He would have been about 25, 26, 27 even. And I thought, oh boy, this is my son's opponent. And then they announced Conor, and Conor came out to the music and to the lights. And when he walked down that ramp, I didn't see a boy then. I saw a man. My boy becoming man.
And I knew at that moment, and that was a defining moment for me. And when he won the fight, I knew that was it. That's what it was going to be, you know.
It's not often that a father will admit that, but my son was right, and his father was wrong.
All that matters is how you see yourself. My name is Conor McGregor. I'm a professional MMA fighter. And no matter what no one else says, as long as you see that and really believe in it, then that's what's going to happen. My dream is to be world champion in the UFC. And I will be, guaranteed.
I'm not surprised, mother.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I plan to release part 2 when Conor fights next. Who knows when that will be. If you want to support the production of the next videos, you can now join the memberships here. It's the same as Patreon. You'll have your name in the credits along with a bunch of other exclusive content. We're already at work on the next video. I'll see you guys then. Take care.